This is not political. This is not about racism, but a beauty is revealed because we accepted ourselves as who we are. It is not a reminder of what used to happen in the past. Accepting our natural hair is curing a mental illness, but rejecting it is staying in the form of slavery. This month is about celebrating the fact that we embraced our beauty. That's why it is important to know the Black Month history and the natural hair evolution, how we got started, and how far we're coming from. In the beginning, the first African hairstyles that started being used all around the world by slaves came from variations of traditional West African braiding patterns. But masters will often remove them because they wanted their slaves to look more European, claiming that this was the best way to look. The practice of black beauty, not measured by their own hair but by the European way, remains the same for about 300 years or so. Being light-skinned and having straight hair was very well appreciated in the community as the best form of beauty. This way of seeing African Americans will force them to spend a lot of time and effort to make themselves look perfect by using highly toxic product, chemical treatment, and hot tools on their hair. In the early 1900s, some people will start making products that will make African American hair straight. And MALONE started selling a wonderful hair grower treatment product and also was encouraging them to use hot comb using her company. Madame C.G. Walker became a millionaire using her own home remedy for hair and scalp problems using the Walker method, which was a combination of heated comb with pomade. This practice continued until the 1960s and 70s, when the civil rights movement also inspired a cultural movement popularly known as Black is Beautiful. This movement was encouraging black men and women to embrace their natural self, their culture, their history, and leave their hair natural. Then the afro began very popular to a point where natural hair was acceptable more than ever before, and the braiding pattern started all over again. But even with the natural hair movement that got started, people were still considering African textured hair as foreign, unprofessional, and not good, which made wigs and relaxers become very popular in order for African Americans to achieve that cold, perfect, smooth, professional, and straight look. And cornrows was being used as base for extension. It wasn't used as an hairstyle to appear in public. Afro, cornrows, dreadlocks, twisted locks, braids, bent to knots all came from our ancestors. Some popular icons of the time who started the natural hair movement with their own hairstyles or afro, letting people know that it wasn't unprofessional wear: Angela Davis, Jimi Hendrix, Diana Ross, Abbey Lincoln, and so on. This movement caused relaxer sales to decrease by 26%, which forced many companies to start manufacturing products that will help styling African textured hair in their natural way. This included companies like Johnson Products. It made its new line of Afro Sheen products with the words of beautiful people in a radio and print advertisement that stated "Wantu Missouri use Afro Sheen." In 1968, Ken Cigarette and Pepsi Cola started printing advertisement of black people with their large afro as well. Today, you can see a large amount of people using West African braiding or Caribbean style for cornrows, dreadlocks, big afros, bent to knots, braids, twist out, and more as a way to express their natural self. The popularity of hair extensions and wig gave the naturalistas a way to have more variety of styles and still keep their hair in its natural state when needed to change their hairstyle from time to time. Each hairstyle is unique and each of them is a reflection of our rich history. The natural hair community is growing to a point where our mindset could never go back to where it's been. It's an adaptation to the circumstances that give us freedom and acceptance of who we are. Now is the time that African Americans control the hair market because we are making our own demands. This is no longer a time where society is trying to impress upon us Eurocentric ideas of beauty. We're defining ourselves. No more chemical treatment that hide who we are and where we're coming from. No more saying all kinks and coils are unprofessional and not perfect. This wasn't a movement of black people anymore. It was a movement of the natural hair community that the world accepted as reality. We are ready to bloom our naturalness because we're all child of God.